Return of the Jedi, an exclusive preview at 10.
Far, far away, Gene Siskel is bringing us an exclusive special report on the Return of the Jedi, the third in the Star Wars trilogy, a movie that millions of people are waiting to see.
So I just want to confess that when I was younger, probably maybe, I don't know, maybe I started when I was in middle school, is when I was aware of Siskel and Ebert. And although they started in the 70s, so maybe earlier than that, I was a huge fan of Siskel and Ebert. I loved their show. I loved watching every one of their episodes. Were reviewing movies. They were a lot of fun. They were brilliant, and their banter was great. And I really respected their opinions on movies most of the time. So it was really wonderful to see this little clip from on the news program in Chicago with Gene Siskel and talking about Return of the Jedi. So I just wanted to share that and give a little bit of my reaction to what he talks about. And it's pretty surprising.
No doubt about it, it's going to be the biggest movie of the year, Return
You know
of the
it.
Jedi, the third Star Wars film, opening May 25th in 1,300 theaters nationwide, telling the latest adventures of young Luke Skywalker and his friends Han Solo, Princess Leia, those lovable androids R2-D2 and C-3PO, as they all battle against the evil forces of the Empire, led by Darth Vader.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
The last film, Empire Strikes Back, ended badly for the good guys, as Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, explains.
It ends with Luke being maimed, and it's a real setback for the good guys. But I think that what the first two films have been, it's like the most elaborate setup ever, and Jedi's the punchline.
Vader's on that ship. Now, don't get jittery, Luke. There are a lot of command ships.
Well, here's what you want to know first. Yes, Return of the Jedi is a marvelous entertainment, just as good as the other two films in the Star Wars trilogy.
Otto, are you sure this is the right place?
Now, what makes the Star Wars movies so good? Let's explain looking at scenes from Jedi. Here's the way the film opens, with the Laurel and Hardy of robots, R2-D2 and C-3PO, entering the cave of the criminal Jabba the Hutt, who has Luke's pal, Han Solo, looking like a Jell-O mold frozen in carbonite.
R2-D2.
Right away, we can see some of the special qualities of the Star Wars movies, classic characters. Everyone loves these androids. And listen to the sound of that door. Good technical filmmaking. And there in the background, that little mechanical spider just thrown in as a bonus. These films are jam-packed with entertainment.
Otto, wait for me!
And these have been socially responsible movies too, believe it or not. George Lucas, the 39-year-old Californian who is the guiding genius behind all the Star Wars films, realizes that he has created this young generation's new heroes, this young generation's Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And George Lucas has been very responsive to any criticism of the Star Wars movies. Some black leaders and parents were upset at the first Star Wars movie because the only dark character in it was Darth Vader, and he was the bad guy. What happened? In The Empire Strikes Back, and again in Jedi, Luke and his pals are helped out by good guy Lando Calrissian, played by Billy D. Williams.
Pull up! All crap, pull up!
Another complaint centered on Princess Leia, the only woman in the series. Some said she wasn't much of a role model for little girls in Star Wars or Empire. She was too much of a nervous Nellie.
I don't think I agree with that. Princess Leia being a nervous Nellie. There were several times in the two movies before Return of the Jedi that she was not a nervous Nellie. A perfect example is the detention block, where she was the one that got them out of the attack at the detention hallway by blasting the hole into the trash compactor. And that was badass right there. She wasn't cowering away, you know, as the guys were trying to find a way out. And then there's the scene in The Empire Strikes Back where she basically is just berating Lando Calrissian for what he did to Han Solo. That's not a nervous Nelly right there. So I have to disagree with that. I don't know if it's Gene Siskel's assertion, but the critics at the time, their assertion that Princess Leia was a nervous Nelly. Ooh. And the scene that they show where she goes, what? I mean, her planet was about to be destroyed, so of course she's going to be very upset about that. Come on.
What happened? Well, in Return of the Jedi, Leia becomes quite a powerful woman. In addition to showing off her great legs, Leia is a woman of action. Look now in Jedi. It's Leia who jumps on the space bike first.
I see them. Wait, Leia! Hey, wait!
This scene is part special effect and part filming amid the giant redwoods of Northern California. Return of the Jedi cost $32 million to make, 3 times as much as the original Star Wars. And it's all on the screen. 500 special effects, most of them dazzling.
Move closer!
Fabulous. That bike race chase is one of the best scenes in the movie. It's a pleasure to see a movie made at such a high level at every single aspect. Acting, technical qualities. It's a real treat.
How can anybody not be dying to see that? But here in Chicago on May 25th, The Return of the Jedi.
The Return of the Jedi.
Trilogy. Gene Siskel's here with part 2 of his exclusive special report.
Here's something that may surprise you about the Star Wars movies. Every actor and every film technician who has worked on these hugely successful movies has seen their individual career rocket. And yet, 2 of the actors in this series revealed to me the dark side of the success of Star Wars. Mark Hamill, who plays the young hero Luke Skywalker, has had to fight being typecast as a youngster.
I know I should be grateful, and I am grateful, but you have to look to the future, and I know that I wouldn't be satisfied just going off and doing like a TV series that was a thinly disguised Star Wars for the rest of my life. I mean, I don't want to be Buster Crabbe, with all due respect to him. You know, at least he won some medals in the Olympics.
They'd better knock, I suppose.
Anthony Daniels, the English actor inside C-3PO's golden skin, is upset because at first the producers tried to hide him from the press and the public so that we wouldn't know who, if anyone, was inside C-3PO's metallic shell.
That did trouble me a bit, but we talked about it and they explained that it was, you know, for the sake of the character and for the sake of the movie. But I think it would take somebody less human than I really am not to be slightly put down by that, to feel slightly unnecessary and unwanted and all that.
Luke, tell me, what's troubling you?
One thing bugging both Daniels and Hamill is that so far, neither of their characters gets a girl. I guess every actor wants to be Clark Gable.
I'm Ralph Bellamy. Why should she wind up with me? You know, that's too perfect and too boring. On the other hand, I thought that there was room for some sexy siren from the, you know, the blue moon of wherever.
To come in and take Harrison away?
No, to come in and satisfy my needs.
Remember, he got a real push-off on the last one where he found this nice robot lady and she said, I don't know if there are children watching, but she said, "Echuta," which, I mean, is a very cruel thing to say.
She said what?
Echuta. Disgusting.
I guess Etuta means bug off in android language. And there are more problems. Mark Hamill complains that Harrison Ford, who plays his pal Han Solo, gets all of the good dialogue.
Keep your distance, though, Chewie, but don't look like you're trying to keep your distance. I don't know. Fly casual.
You see, when it gets a little bit too square and a little bit too cornball, cut to Harrison rolling his eyes going, are you kidding me? We're going in there with that thing. And the audience roars because it releases that sort of feeling of, oh, this is a little, I shouldn't be enjoying this so much.
But even though Mark Hamill has these complaints, he told us that, yes, he would be willing to star in another Star Wars movie. And hang on for this exclusive, producer George Lucas has told Hamill to, yes, get ready for another role in the year 2000.
Well, those plans clearly changed.
George has talked to me marginally about doing something at the turn of the century in the last trilogy, but it wouldn't be on the same plane of existence, if you know what I mean.
What it sounds like is that he offered you a job to play a father and Luke Jr. around the year 2000.
You're a very clever man, Mr. Siskel.
Actually, that was quite easy, Don, I want you to know. So first, it looks like there's going to be a set of 3 more Star Wars movies that take place before the 3 we've seen. And then, at the end of the century, isn't that wonderful to stick around for? 3 more, ending with Luke becoming a father.
Wow, so George Lucas actually planned to do the prequels a lot sooner because the prequels obviously came out at the end of the century. And so we didn't get any of the prequels that were supposed to happen, who knows, like a few years later, like maybe in the 90s or something. So we ended up getting the prequels in early 2000s, and then the next 3 films come out in the 2010s. Kind of late on his schedule. Luke Skywalker ending up being a father. Well, that obviously didn't happen, but I'm wondering if this is a storyline being saved for Episode 9. I don't think I actually saw this back in 1983. Don't remember this at all, but it was pretty cool looking at this and, you know, just having a nostalgia moment, you know. This is pretty cool. And a lot of fun.
That's the Star Wars experience, one of the most amazing chapters in entertainment history.
It's monumental, isn't it?
Well, it's just fun to think that you're going to have a job in the year 2000. This guy's a lucky guy.
Hey, thanks for watching Star Wars Obsessed. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. Also, click on that bell icon to be alerted to new videos.